This week, Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant and Jimmy Page reunite. A pre-concert look at the site of Woodstock '94. The State, Can a Million Comedy Critics Be Wrong? Janet Jackson sings for Rwanda. Boyfriends, girlfriends, and domestic violence. And computer-age rock stars online. I'm Kurt Loder.
And I'm Tabitha Soren. Welcome to the Week in Rock.
14 years after the death of drummer John Bonham brought Led Zeppelin's career to an end, singer Robert Plant and guitarist Jimmy Page have reunited to tape an MTV Unplugged concert. The show's working title is Unleaded. Plant's solo band will provide backup, and Zeppelin bassist John Paul Jones is not involved. Parts of the show will be taped in London, Wales, and the ancient Moroccan city of Marrakesh. And while the duo is expected to reprise some Zeppelin hits, such as Kashmir, this is not officially a Led Zeppelin reunion. Plant and Page will also do some new songs that they've written.
Saugerties, New York is the site of Woodstock '94, which takes place in just 2 weeks, on a patch of farmland that had been scheduled to be turned into a much opposed by locals dump site. With one Woodstock behind them, the organizers are preparing for anything. They've got 24 first aid tents, 2 hospitals, obstetricians, and even a wedding tent. But of course, it was all just in preparation stages when I dropped by last weekend. See for yourself. How much area does this farm encompass? How much?
940 acres. We're in the north stage. You're in the stage. That will be the artists driving to the backstage, the actual physical back part of the stage, right where that car is will basically be the steps. They'll be driven from the helipads, from the artist compound, etc., and driven to put on the stage in order to face this way, which is the Sea of Humanity. We're now standing in the helipads. There'll be 4 helipads in here, artists and medevac. This will be the water supply for the festival. These tanks, which were built, we had designed and built from the ground up. Each hold 1.2 million gallons of water. Behind us here, this is the catering tent. We'll supply the food for all the backstage needs.
How are you going to deal with things like poison ivy and mosquitoes?
Glad you asked that. We have professional poison ivy pickers.
What?
That's what I said. What? There are people who pick poison ivy for a living. We are hiring 100 of them to harvest, quote, harvest the poison ivy.
What about the mosquitoes?
Okay. We're going to hire mosquito baits, people who walk through, and if more than 15 land on your hand, then we have to spray. We have found that porta potties are kind of important for every festival, but specifically for this one.
How many are you going to have?
We've located 3,000, which are about 15 different states. Hundreds of trucks are headed this way with porta-johns for the festival. This is the South Stage performance field. There are 30 of these across the site. These are what we call the water banks. The water from this, we're proud to say, comes from our own water tanks. There's got to be water for everybody. There's got to be security for everyone. There's got to be electricity for everyone. There's got to be sanitary for everyone. And what we have here is literally the first rock and roll city in the history of the world.
Woodstock '94 begins Friday, August 12th, and the 3-day festival includes 35 acts, from Aerosmith and the Allman Brothers Band to Henry Rollins and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you can't make it to Woodstock in person, MTV and MTV News will begin broadcasting from Woodstock '94 Friday afternoon, with coverage running all the way through the weekend.
More and more people are flocking to the various computer online services that are proliferating these days, and among them, inevitably, are some fairly well-known folks, from the Rolling Stones to David Bowie, from Depeche Mode to Aerosmith. We checked in with 2 musicians of our acquaintance, Jennifer Finch of L7 and admitted computer neophyte Chuck D of Public Enemy, for a trip into the cyber jungle.
I've just always sort of had a fascination with the telephone anyway, and the next sort of step after being a teenager on my princess phone was just to sort of get online with computers. It's the sound of the future.
Welcome.
I just want you all to know that
You've got mail.
we have mail. Here's one from Nikki Sixx. Warner Brothers has a board on America Online where you can download bands' bios. You can check to see who's on tour. They also have a message board where fans can talk to each other about their favorite Warner's bands. Oh wow, I didn't even know this. These are the dates that our new video, Andre, is going to be on MTV. This is the fan board that I don't go into. The reason I want people to feel free to do what they have to do. L7 are lousy, admit it. And these guys are worse than Poison. Looking for a female group to idolize, try Luscious Jackson. This is the L7 Lollapalooza tour log. Anytime under the author you see a little L7s right here, that's indicating a tour diary or something that I've talked about. I've personally have placed, I believe, 15 tour entries at this point. I have my own folder. It's my own folder. People can go in there and ask questions, and I'll answer them.
Fans are so interested in directly contacting stars online that an email address book of the rich and famous was recently published.
And what email does and what the internet does is it lets someone who's well-known interact with regular people and not have to worry about getting stalked, not have to worry about getting hassled for an autograph.
We hooked online newcomer Chuck D of Public Enemy up with New York Online, a regional bulletin board catering to a little groovier crowd, to check out another way fans can meet celebs online, the chat room.
First of all, I'm like this. I'm one of these guys. I tell the world on Inline, Chuck D says, what the f*** is up? So Chuck, I noticed your new video, Give It Up. You got the high-tech culture rate.
Give it up, give it up, give it up, yo! Give it up, give it up, gotta give it up!
And they probably don't even believe it's the real me.
That's one of the things that happens a lot in this medium, is that you never know who's real.
Some people probably think I'm faking.
Actually, lots of people are faking it. We've discovered imposters online posing as Mike D of the Beastie Boys, Chris Novoselic of Nirvana, our own Kurt Loder, and Madonna.
My screen name is Madonna. People are always sending me mail thinking that I'm the real Madonna. Most of the letters I don't respond to because they're really insane requests or, problems that people have, and I really don't want to be giving my advice to anybody, especially since I'm not her.
Although we think anonymity is important, we think somebody else pretending to be somebody is just not the right way to do it.
Anyone who is involved in this situation has to understand that there are going to be imposters, and you can't believe what you read.
If you haven't yet ventured out into net world, you can do so as long as you have a computer, of course, and a modem and an online service. These are some contact numbers, and believe me, there are many, many more.
We'll let our sponsors get online for a bit, but when we return, Janet Jackson lends a helping hand to Rwandan refugees. We'll tell you about a new rape hotline. We'll explore the issue of domestic violence and find out what's so funny about the state. Do stay tuned.
Still looking for somewhere cool to hang out this summer? Get the hottest place to chill, MTV Summer, as it continues to sizzle with new episodes of Lip Service and The State, an all-new Real World in San Francisco, MTV's action-adventure series Dead at 21, as well as updates from the Beach House, Beach MTV, and the hottest music. All afternoon, all summer, MTV Summer. It never cools off.
Wax on, wax off.
Miss Spot. If she can put up with the master.
What's wrong with you? Are you crazy?
If she can keep up with the training,
That's impossible.
then she'll discover
Let go of me.
how to stand up for herself.
You put her away.
The next Karate Kid.
Yes!
Rated PG. At theaters August 12th.
The following demonstration complies with broadcast regulations. First, spray designer Imposter fragranced body spray on your arms and then try some on your...
Ooh.
Then spray some on your stomach
Ah.
and your legs and your... In fact, designer Imposter body spray smells so wonderful and make you feel so refreshed, you can just spray them everywhere. Designer Imposter body sprays, only from Parfums de Corps. Available for men too.
My Perfect 80s album, it's gotta make me dance.
It's gotta rock.
It's gotta make me smile.
The Perfect 80s album is here. It's awesome 80s. 40 of the biggest hits in the decade on 2 CDs and 2 long play cassettes, featuring the Go-Go's, Dexy's Midnight Runners, Devo, Queen,
The 80s, I think of Yuppies, Valley Girls.
And Mickey!
we had pop stars with style.
The 80s made us feel so carefree.
Be happy, don't worry, be happy now.
You'll also get the B-52s.
I'm not sleeping. Everybody's working for the weekend. Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? When I caught in a hit and run.
Look, Awesome 80s has David Bowie,
Hall & Oates, The Cars.
Pat Benatar, Tears for Fears.
Spread the word, the 80s are back.
To order, call the number on your screen or send check or money order. 2 CDs, $26.99. 2 long play cassettes, $19.99. Rush delivery available. Awesome 80s is not sold in stores. Do it now.
The joint, the flavor, the ball. MTV's Jam of the Week. Warren G. This DJ. Watch for it all week. J to the A to the MTV.
Welcome back to the Week in Rock.
This has been the week in which Frank Zappa finally got some overdue recognition, at least among astronomers who've named an asteroid orbiting between Mars and Jupiter after the late composer and guitarist. As for the week's other notable events, here's a quick wrap-up in our weekly rewind.
Madonna got a court order last Friday to keep a male stalker away from her office and her Hollywood home, where he's been turning up lately claiming to be her husband. In Seattle last weekend, only days after Alice in Chains canceled its summer tour plans for unspecified medical reasons, vocalist Wayne Staley joined local band Second Coming on stage for a tune he also sings on their new album. The band Hole announced that it will play England's Reading Festival August 26th. Its first show since the deaths of Courtney Love's husband Kurt Cobain in April and Hole bassist Kristen Pfaff last month. The band is still auditioning replacements for Pfaff, who accidentally overdosed upon heroin. Pearl Jam filed a new memo with the U.S. Justice Department, claiming that Ticketmaster made potentially misleading assertions June 30th during testimony before a House of Representatives subcommittee investigating the way concert tickets are sold. Janet Jackson donated proceeds of her 2 New York City shows this week to fund relief flights to Rwandan refugees, tens of thousands of whom have died from cholera after fleeing political strife at home for the neighboring African nation of Zaire. On Tuesday, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, founded by singer and former rape victim Tori Amos, opened a 24-hour nationwide sexual assault hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. It's staffed 24 hours a day by trained rape counselors. 23-year-old Clarence Lars, better known as DJ Train, a former member of NWA who'd been working with TVE and MC Ren lately, died of massive burns Tuesday morning. He was overcome by smoke while rescuing family members from his mother's burning house in South Central LA. Finally, after 60 years of singing stout military songs, Russia's Red Army Choir has suddenly discovered rock and roll, with a little help from a bizarre Finnish band, the Leningrad Cowboys. Check it out.
We used to specialize in military dances, military fame. No one's interested in this anymore. It's very difficult for us in Russia now.
Those guys are obviously ready for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but will the Hall of Fame ever be ready for them? The answer now appears to be yes. On Thursday, while Huey Lewis tunes filled the air and Jerry Lee Lewis himself performed, the final girder was hoisted into place atop the Cleveland structure, along with a U.S. flag, what appeared to be a small Christmas tree, and an inflatable hooker dummy from the last Rolling Stones tour. The tree is apparently some sort of construction workers' tradition. The hall itself is now expected to be completed within the next year.
Oh my. Time now for an Enough is Enough report on domestic violence, an issue that's been thrown into the spotlight by the O.J. Simpson murder case. Unfortunately, it's been a problem for some time. According to the Surgeon General, domestic violence is the #1 cause of injury to women between the ages of 15 and 44, hurting more of them than auto accidents, muggings, and cancer combined. Domestic violence reportedly affects 2 million American women each year. Our report begins with one of them.
Before, I never thought he would kill me. There was only one point when he was beating me up that I looked into his eyes and I thought he was going to, this is not the person I love. This is a total stranger.
For 4 years, Lauren was involved with a man who beat her. She fled her home state and moved to the West Coast to try to rebuild her life.
He broke my arm in 2 places. My knees are all ripped up because the way he dragged me across the floor, and a dislocated shoulder. I just kept thinking, because I never had bruises on my face, so I couldn't see myself. So I never really thought anything was that bad.
Lauren's case is sadly not unique, but it took the O.J. Simpson case to put a spotlight on domestic violence. The FBI reports that a woman is beaten by her partner every 15 seconds, and several studies have found that 20% of college students experience abuse in dating relationships.
I found that the only thing that determines whether a woman will become a victim of battering is whether she falls in love with someone who's violent or willing to be violent.
Barry Levy is a therapist and the author of 2 books on young women and relationship violence.
No one makes you act like this. You actually have a choice. You have a choice between whether you hit or don't hit. There are things you can do if you're feeling angry about something. You can walk away.
Police showed up. They said there was nothing they could do because he wasn't there. It was my word against his. That phrase was continuous through this whole 4-year period. It's your word against his. I'm like, what's so wrong with my word?
The first thing to do is to take the violence seriously and to know that it can get worse, and usually does get worse. It doesn't stop all by itself. Something has to change for the violence to stop. What has to happen in this country is that these domestic violence cases and dating violence cases have to be prosecuted with the same seriousness as any other case.
Several states have been advocating mandatory arrest for domestic violence, and Congress is now working on the Violence Against Women Act, which would provide stronger penalties for abusers and more safety measures for women.
You don't deserve to get abused for who you are. Just, if it's wrong, it's wrong.
Statistics on relationship violence are not precise, maybe because people are too ashamed to talk about it openly. But silence can also hurt.
Tell someone. Get someone who you think will be supportive, who will listen. If the first person you tell doesn't listen, tell someone else.
When he starts cutting you down in front of your friends or his friends, there's some problem there. It doesn't mean he's going to beat you up. It doesn't, I'm not saying that. It's just confront him. Like, why do you feel the need to put me down all the time? If he doesn't have a good answer, then there's definitely someone else better out there for you, and you're just wasting your time with this guy.
Some of the young women I've talked to have really had wonderful relationships after they get out of the battering relationship, or have one special relationship in which they really learn about what love is all about, and about how what they missed and how undeserving they were of the kind of violence they've experienced before. So some of the healing takes place through a healthy relationship.
If I knew then what I know now, type of deal, maybe things wouldn't have been prolonged as much as they were. So if I can prevent someone else to go through all this, then that heals me at the same time.
Lauren, who is now pursuing a music career, has written a booklet about her experiences and is seeking a publisher. Barry Levy's books and others about violence against women are published by Seattle's Seal Press. A free catalog is available by calling 206-283-7844. The photographs of domestic violence victims in that piece are from a harrowing book by photographer Donna Ferrato called Living with the Enemy. It's available through the publisher Aperture at 212-505-5555. Young people, male, female, straight, and gay, can find counseling about domestic violence through local victim services groups or call toll-free 1-800-621-HOPE for a referral to someone in your area.
One last Enough is Enough note. Congress on Thursday passed a $33 billion crime bill that will fund the hiring of more police, ban 19 types of assault weapons, expand the uses of the death penalty, and put 3-time felons away for life. A proposed addition to the bill, the so-called Racial Justice Act, championed by the Congressional Black Caucus and described by critics as affirmative action for murderers, was deep-sixed as expected.
Time for one more commercial break, but coming up, we'll meet MTV's sketch comedy troupe, The State, and tell you how you can interact with MTV News. Don't go away.
The kids were beautiful and well-behaved, except for some maniac in a Winnebago.
Move it, hippie! Hey, Burnout, get a horse!
You and 3 friends can attend Woodstock 94 in the Magic Winnebago, an air-conditioned psychedelic motorhome with your own private bathroom, personal chef, sound system, satellite dish, and special parking space backstage. Enjoy all the amenities of home.
I've gone to the bathroom twice already, and I'm going again! Bite me!
Plus gourmet food.
Voila, pork du butthead.
Groovy. We'll even throw in $10,000 for gas and an all-access pass so you can hang backstage.
Far out.
To win the Magic Winnebago and 2 days of peace, music, and your own toilet, watch MTV for the Woodstock block. Send a postcard with the names of the videos in the block and the time you saw them, plus your own name, age, address, and daytime phone number, too. My own private Woodstock, P.O. Box 899, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101.
Anyone in there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. Well, has Hendrix played yet?
Brought to you by Pepsi, Carefree Sugarless Bubblegum, and Levi's 501 Jeans.
Woodstock 94. The concert you've waited your whole life for.
They may not have courage.
I don't want to go to jail. I'm fragile.
They may not have vision.
What are you thinking about?
Swimming pools.
They may not have brains.
We gotta send one person out.
I'll go.
One of the hostages, doof.
Sorry.
But they've got everything it takes
God help us all!
to be airheads.
What's wrong with that?
Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler.
He doesn't wear a helmet, does he?
Airheads.
No idea what you're saying right now.
Directed by Michael Lehman. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Okay, so I tend to put things off. For me, the time just has to be right. Like, I meet this amazing girl, and she's coming over tonight. It's like with Rogaine. I've been meaning to check it out. This is important to me. I've thought about calling lots of times. You know when I called? Today. This was my time.
It could be your time, too. To find out more about Rogaine with minoxidil, call this 800 number now. You'll get a free information kit filled with facts to help answer your questions about Rogaine. And since you need a prescription to get Rogaine, you'll also get a list of local doctors experienced in this kind of treatment. And a certificate worth $10 as an incentive to go. So call today.
Hi.
Hi. Nice place.
Call now 1-800-368-5599 for a free information kit.
Too many children in this nation are being held prisoner. Their captors are fear and violence. Their playgrounds are no place to play in. As a parent, I want this violence to stop. As your president, I'm committed to ending it. We must strengthen our families, neighborhoods, and communities. We must give our children a future. We must take away their fear and give them hope.
Do something now. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT.
We must give our children back their childhood. Working together, we can.
Come on! Out of my way! Ow!
Welcome back to the Weekend Rock.
With In Living Color alumnus Jim Carrey making a reported $7 million per movie, and Adam Sandler of Saturday Night Live temporarily jumping ship to make his big screen debut in Airheads, it might seem that sketch comedy is the place to be if you have stars in your eyes. But the 10 guys and 1 gal in the state, impeccably dressed by our own Carol Lee, MTV's own New York-based sketch comedy troupe, aren't headed for Hollywood. They're too busy creating comedy for the small screen. Take a look.
I want to dip my balls in it!
Hi, Kurt. Hi, Tabitha.
This just in, pastry queen Sandra Paxton is dead.
I'm the one in the group that has breasts. Real ones.
What you're seeing right now is a long white hallway, and there's actually several of these over at Kaufman & Gray Studios. Ahead of me is Eileen Katz, who serves as the water girl on the show. You might see her name in the credits. She gets water for the group, soda pops, carbonated beverages, whatever we need. Coming through, we got press here, we're coming through, let's go, let's go! Here we are, my dressing room. Ow! Jesus Christ. Cut!
Kicking off their second season of sketch comedy, members of the state are glad to be back with new episodes, especially after weathering some not-so-favorable reviews.
It was really depressing. I mean, they weren't even bad reviews, they were hateful reviews. It was as if, we were, sodomizing young children on TV every week. It was the hateful reviews that we got, but we did get a really good promo out of it.
I started a joke, which started the whole world crying.
Everyone on the street likes it, they'll start yelling pudding guy at us.
I'm Levon. And I'm Barry, Sagittarius. And it's time. It's time for $240. Worth of pudding. Worth of pudding. Oh, yeah.
And Doug and all that.
Forget it, I'm out of here.
And the papers aren't crazy about us, but we don't care. We hate them all. We hate them all. And we have contracts out on all of them, especially Jim Farber of the Daily News. Jim, watch your back, pal. Jim wasn't proud. He just wanted to make sure that MTV never did anything like this again. He was really upset with us.
Now that things are on an upswing, are any of the 11 state members tempted to go on to other ventures?
When we first came to MTV, everybody said to us, they're going to break you apart, and, Saturday Night Live's going to call, and they're going to want one person and everything else. And the group has always been about ensemble, and that's what we pride ourselves on. There's 11 of us, and we're each other's best friends. And that's what makes coming to work every day so great, is that, we have a chance to do what we love doing, get paid for it with our best friends. We come to work and play. I mean, that's our job.
The State airs Friday at 10 p.m., Saturday at 11, and this Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Finally, in news, MTV wants to know if you've seen any breaking stories lately and would like to report them for us. It's a new project called Interact, and here's Allison Stewart to tell you more about it.
Sometimes the real news doesn't make the front page. Sometimes the real news is what you know, and now we want to put your news on MTV. What would you do if you could tell your own story on MTV News? Your own words and your own pictures.
You hear it first.
Sometimes the best stories are the ones we never even hear about. So we're changing the rules with a new interactive show, and we want to interact with you. So here's how it works. You call us, 1-800-766-6988, and tell us your story.
I'm calling about a problem that we're having on campus.
And I saw the 800 number on the screen.
I had to tell that to the public.
Viewers can finally voice their own opinions and stories and real-life problems on live TV.
Look, they're your stories, the issues, people, and pictures that matter to you. We want to put MTV News in your hands. So if we pick your story, we'll loan you a camera. Hit the streets, shoot like mad, tell us your story. I said loan, you're going to have to give it back. So if you have a story that needs to be told, call us toll free at 1-800-766-6988 and get involved.
Those lines are open now, and the number, once again, is 1-800-766-6988. That about does it for this edition of The Week in Rock.
We'll be back next week with more Woodstock stuff, some real-world developments.
And the Rolling Stones on the road again.
We'll see you then.